Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me now. We disconnected there for like half a second. So, welcome. We are live. We don't need any more Assetto Corsa up. Hello! Hello, everyone. Let's get rid of that. And we'll mute the desktop audio because I don't want to get thrown in the gulag for streaming a race. And here we are. All right, so this is something that's kind of going to be interesting, I think. This is a stream of me watching an IndyCar race. Now, obviously, if you're expecting me to stream the race for you, you'll have to you'll have to find that elsewhere. But it should be interesting. This is something I would normally do for my Patreon supporters, the DL500 Club. But I figured for the second biggest race on the IndyCar calendar, for the 50th anniversary of the Long Beach Grand Prix, I feel like this would be something that's worthwhile to watch with you guys, my audience. And I think it should be pretty good. I've got the Watch Fox Sports app up because I believe it's going to be better than my previous Spectrum streaming experience, which wasn't any good here on the DL500 Club. So welcome, 214 people already watching. We're ready to go. And thanks to everybody who's not watching the Masters over this, although there are some people in the chat who are trying to get me to talk golf. Hello, Alex. I'm going to just say hello to everybody here in the chat while we are waiting. Shredhead is on the pole position there. Edgardo, I believe, is the name. NR88's here. Super 01 is here. He's a DL500 Club. Stymie Snurdly says he's got to stream the Masters. Well, I'm sorry about that, but your loss. Taurus is here. Jordian is here. Don is here. RLB Films asks where I am. I'm right here. Richard, Tony, Sebastian, Nick, Eric, John, Steven, Indiana BP. I love Northwest Indiana. Alex, Wrestler, Brian, Artful Dodger, In Between the Lines, Super Duper Wii Owner, Clutch Powers, Andrew. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. This should be good. Oh, we are live. We're live. We're live. I missed it. So I missed the introduction. I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure I saw Will Buxton post it on his Instagram account. Crowd looks great. And it was very much Paul Page style, which I think is good. Why am I not at the racetrack? Well, because the Long Beach Grand Prix is one of the most expensive races to cover. I would love to be there, but I'm also not willing to make myself financially destitute to be there. So that was the decision. Question to you, David. Is Miami the racing capital of the world when it comes to drivers? Well, it certainly used to be when the Brazilians were out in force, but there's a lot of drivers from Miami. There's a lot of drivers that choose to live in Miami. Obviously, there's a lot of racing that goes on in Miami. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's the racing capital of the world. If you're looking for that, maybe it's Monaco. Big John's here. Hello, Big John. Love the Snoop Dogg intro. Wow, incredible. Well, Snoop Dogg blanked NBC, so I'm glad Fox was able to get him. Oh, we're glazing Dan Towers right off the bat. There you go. Nothing says relatable like talking about the team owners right off the bat. Do you like baseball? Thank you, Shredhead. I love you guys too. Good afternoon, race fan, says Stexon92. Is Kyle? No, Kyle's down in North Carolina at some go-kart race. So here's Jack Harvey's grid walk, which has gotten better as the weeks have gone on. Hello, Drew. Good to see you. Looking forward to seeing you at Indy. The printer wagon. Yes, it is the grid walk. So let's watch Jack Harvey, and he's gotten Scott McLaughlin. There's a guy waving. Let's see, who's he going with? Who's that? Who? I'm just gonna say it. I should not be. I shouldn't. Oh God, Marcus, no. Here you go. All right, I'm gonna say it. I shouldn't be saying who is that when we see the person in the two-seater. It's my opinion. Marcus Ericsson got a little bit of an Elvis look this weekend, although it looks like he shaved his sideburns a little bit. I hope someone didn't bully him about that. That would be really bad. Yeah, but definitely your first reaction to the two-seater should not be who is that. Jack Harvey on track mentioned how lame it was. He has to include the two-seater rider in his grid walk. All right, here you go, Dan Towers. Oh my lord, that was a what? That wasn't a very exciting interview there. You can see what's funny too is the Andretti PR girls are just like running down the pit lane with Jack Harvey. They really want to make sure there's no oopsie doodles going on here. Colton's got a good shot today. We'll see. His pit crew is going to be, yep, there go the PR girls. Oh, we're not going to see them anymore. Oh, yeah, they're running down there because Kirkwood's on the TV. This is a very Andretti-focused broadcast. They better not wreck each other here. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for everybody who's tuning out or tuning in. It's great. Yeah, I do. I do a watch along for most every race that I'm not there for. It's going to be a little bit difficult when I'm in Europe for a couple of weeks in June. I'm going to go to Le Mans, and then I'm going to go somewhere else that we're not ready to announce yet. But I'm going to be somewhere else the third week of June. I can't say what it is. You might be able to guess. I don't know. Depends how much of a racing fan you are. But we got to announce that first, so there's your little teaser. So that would be Road America and Gateway. I wouldn't be either there in person or streaming it for the DL500 Club. But I think we're going to make up for it with our coverage in the month of May at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're really working hard behind the scenes on that. We've got some really cool things coming. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. Any breadcrumbs you can drop on the open test? There's a cool announcement coming. I can't go further than that during the open test. But there's something cool that's happening. It was Logan Sargent, but he's not racing. Logan Sargent's there? Normally I'd say his animosity... Oh, is he at Formula E? Whatever. Logan Sargent, we don't need to be talking about right now. Cannot wait for my favorite month and day of the year. We'll be in Indy in a couple of weeks. Actually, can't wait to go to the museum. Yeah, the museum's awesome. You got to check the museum out. Well, Taurus, I'll definitely be at Le Mans. I can say that, but I'm going as a fan. I got to remember I like racing every now and then, you know? So you're not going to be at Gateway. Yeah, unfortunately, they decided to schedule Gateway on the 24 hours of Le Mans. So I'm going to choose Le Mans over that. Who do I think is going to win as clutch? So here's the thing. I think that, all things being equal, which of course they're never not, or they never are. I mean, Kyle Kirkwood looks extremely strong right now. Colton obviously, well, actually, Colton and Kirkwood have won this race before, but Alex Palou starting from the second row. I mean, he's just too close to the front to count him out or to not count him out. And I think that if you're looking at a driver who's starting on the primary tire, it's Scott Dixon. Because if they all crash at the start and everybody decides that they need to get off of the green sidewall soft tire, well, guess who's starting on the blacks? It's Scott Dixon. So I think Scott could cycle around to the front, run on the primaries until the end of the race when the track is rubbered in, kind of run that Alex Palou strategy that you saw at the Thermal Club. Put on the soft wall tires when the track is rubbered up, and he will run away with it. So we'll see. I think Scott Dixon, you should not count him out in a strategy-style race. That is for sure. Think Colton will play Robin for Kirkwood. No. I think what's going to happen is you're going to see him race to turn one. You're going to see him race to turn one, and whoever gets there first will have the corner. Don Davis is joining the DL 500 Club. Thank you, Don. Appreciate that. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see you on there. Not everyone's starting on the alternates, but a lot of them are. So you have, I believe, Lundgaard starting on the alternates, Dixon starting on the alternates. Those are the notable ones. There's a couple further in the back. I believe Jacob Abel starting on on the primaries, and then everybody else is starting on the alternates. How did Joseph and Will Power recover? Well, they're going to have to pass a lot of cars. We're watching some San Diego Chargers glazing right now, so it's not particularly interesting to me. I called them San Diego, didn't I? Well, to me, they're still in San Diego. Good thing McLaren could just find a powder blue McLaren. Try to not show Pato exceeding the speed limit. David, have you scored a chat with Mario? Yeah, I spoke to Mario back in St. Pete 2022. It's a really cool interview. I would check it out. Sam's asking about if I've taken a two-seater ride. I've taken two of them. I got to ride actually with Mario around the oval in 2021, which was awesome. It was so awesome. One of the most amazing experiences of my life. And then I got another two-seater ride a couple of years ago on the road course in Indianapolis. The radio network just had a few extras lying around. They said, "You want to take this?" I said, "Yes, I would like to take it." So I got to run around. I think Zach Veach drove me around on the road course. Does anyone remember Justice for Jable from the live streams? Yeah, I know. He got justice. Pato really is the diva IndyCar needs, says Super01. I'll take your word for it. David, was Lundgaard talking on the radio mid-crash? It sure seemed like it. Palou will win, says Shredhead. I wouldn't bet against it. Pato is making the sport look super cool is what we need to make IndyCar look cool. Yeah, I mean, we need to make IndyCar look cool, that's for sure. I'm an LA Chargers fan, but moved to Indy in 2023, says girthy guitarist. Das says, I'm going now by. Well, we haven't even gotten started yet. The race hasn't even gone green. John Allen thinks Rossi's going to win. Well, it's not 2019 anymore, unfortunately, so we'll see on that one, I think. Although that was a hell of a drive that old Rossi had in 2019, that's for sure. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Devlin is going to win this race, but we'll see. I mean, stranger things have happened. Brad, that's for sure. Richard says, I'm surprised Michael Andretti hasn't been seen this weekend. Well, I mean, Michael got removed from the team. You're not going to see him all that much anymore. Uncle Plain Guy says, are you going to talk to Hailie Deegan about her Indy NXT run at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? I could. The problem with Indy Next is just no one cares. And yeah, they're on TV, but, you know, much like IndyCar, they haven't had a race in... I mean, they haven't... Their next race is Barber, which is hard to believe. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, but, I mean, the problem is, with Hailie Deegan, with the problem is with the views with her are asking her about NASCAR. It's not asking her about IndyCar, which is unfortunate. I don't necessarily want to just have a NASCAR interview because she's been asked those questions a million times before. We're going to need a new chassis. It won't solve everything immediately, but it will do some help. Yeah, I would agree, Andrew. It would at least shake things up a little bit. Truthful Frank thinks Rossi's going to get it done. Anthony Mark says, the first time I saw this race was on TV in 1988. There you go. Hey, David, is it the same Ericsson that drove in F1 some years ago? Yes, it is. Are all the former winners there? I don't know. Oh! They had the car! Yes! Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good. That looks so good! Holy, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. Quit Audacity. I don't want Audacity. I want this. Dude, that's... Yes! God, it took them 3 races, but they got it figured out. They're doing the cars on the starting grid. Look, you know what the car looks like now. That's amazing. Thank you, Fox. I mean, my God, it took them so long. The wheels aren't the right color, but that's fine. We'll let that slide. We'll let that slide. That's all you need to do. I mean, my God, it's perfect. It's perfect. it's perfect. Yes. Oh, they did get Nolan's car wrong. They did it. They did it. They did get Nolan's car wrong. We'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. That's awesome. And Mario's going to give the command, and Alfred. There you go. Mario dominated that. That's awesome. Well, there we go. I mean, good start there, Fox. Let's keep it going. Malukas is starting, well, let me get my leaderboard up. So the leaderboard that you see, I actually don't have up on my browser. It's a browser source. So Malukas is rolling off P10. I guess you already saw the starting grid, but we're looking forward to it. Almost 300 people watching right now. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're about to watch Long Beach, but everybody's tuning in. Here's this celebrity that I don't know who it is. Did T-Bell just call him this guy? That's crazy. Graham's car was wrong, too. All right, well, listen. And Marcus Ericsson, is that Marcus? Yeah, Marcus did not start. They got him going now. He'll be able to take his spot on the grid. I mean, that's all they needed to do, man. That's all they needed to do. Thank you, Fox. I'm over the moon about that. I mean, my God, it's taken them so long to get that right. Like any broadcaster. Ooh, there's some empty seats there. But yeah, man, it's just awesome. And now they're doing the old Sam Posey special. Interesting to see it's overcast here at Long Beach. Can't remember the last time we had an overcast Long Beach race. I think it might have been back in 2021 when that race was run in the fall. So this should help tire wear. Those drivers starting on the softer rubber, that would theoretically benefit them early on. We will see. Devlin's was wrong as well. So, I mean, they gave him... listen. They made a couple of mistakes, but you know what? Listen. We're going to give them the credit for doing that because no other broadcaster has just done that. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's so important for the people to know what the damn cars look like because you change the liveries every race. And so now what a great way to educate the people. So we're happy about that. We're real happy about that. So the track preview looks good. And we are about to go racing here at Long Beach. So we'll see. Can Andretti hang on to a potentially dominant race weekend for them? Or will Alex Palou or one of the Ganassis spoil this? Or could one of the Chevys win this race? Now, this is a track that favors Hondas in terms of power delivery, low-end power. That's where the Hondas are very good, as well as fuel mileage. And when we talk about street courses, strategy is always going to come into play. So here we go. Starting grid absolutely was so good, no doubt about it. They are on the pace laps right now, Fernando, so we are about to go green. I wish the Long Beach Grand Prix would go up Ocean Boulevard like F1 did. Well, I don't know. I think the current Long Beach track is really, really, really good. So it's a real racetrack. I mean, and that's something that, you know, when we look at street courses, and that's the thing I complain about, and I got Marcus Armstrong mad at me for complaining about it, but you know, you need to have the street course feel like you want to build a real racetrack on the streets. You don't want to have the streets dictate what the racetrack looks like. And so Long Beach is one of those racetracks free from compromise. It really is a true racetrack that just happens to take place on the city streets, and that's why it's such a good racetrack and why it's lasted for so long. So here we go. Kevin Lee's addressing the elephant in the room, which is that Scott Dixon is starting on the primary black tires, the harder compound, which could launch him to the front if there is a crash in the first corner or on the first lap or early on in the race. So here we go. It's great to see as well the driver's eye camera return, the helmet cam. We hope it never leaves. We certainly hope it never leaves because that's one of the best views in racing. And it's something that's been around since the 2000s, but it's something that we've lost and gained back and lost again. And now hopefully we never have to lose it again. So the field forms up. Kyle Kirkwood will control the pace from his teammate Colton Herta. Alex Palou has been undefeated on the season. He starts in third. Felix Rosenquist, the pole sitter last year, starts on the outside of row 2. And here we go. It's a traditional Long Beach start. Kirkwood brings him down a little bit slow. And we're racing, and Kirkwood gets the drop on everybody. And it's single file through the rest of the field, 3 abreast. Further back, it's Ericsson on the inside. And they made it. Rossi made a move on the outside. McLaughlin got around Palou. So Palou's all the way back to P5. Rosenquist up to 3rd. And it looks like, I'm not going to say it yet because there was some squirreliness in the back, but right now, clean and green here at Long Beach. And Dixon's getting, Dixon just got passed by Newgarden. So clearly the primary tires have a pace disadvantage early on from the alternates. You see the drivers on the back, on the hard compounds going backwards. That's going to change as the race goes on, though. Scott Dixon trying to get back to the inside of Newgarden. So the race underway safely at the moment. And we'll see what happens with the strategy. Not a lot of deviation. Like I said before, Lundgaard is the highest runner on the primaries. And then it's Scott Dixon. And we don't have the scoring on the side of the oh, there it goes. Okay. Warphammer says doesn't look like Dixon's bet isn't working. Not yet, but remember, you know, it could be lap 5 and he stuffs it in the wall. Now obviously Dixon would not have the advantage that he would have, you know, now every lap and every corner that ticks by comes back. Here we go. It's back. I don't understand why Fox made my stream really slow. Or there we go. Okay. All right, we're back. I did freeze. Okay. Yeah, because I lost my streaming, and then I lost this. No, I remember to pay my bill. All right, there's a pass for Pato. And we had a blackout. There we go. All right, so we're back. What is going on? Sam says Fox's font looks too NFL for him. Shredhead, refresh. Did it blow out? Are we back? What is going on? What's so weird is, like, nothing changed on my end. Nothing changed. I'm hardwired. I don't know what's going on. All right, anyway, we're back. So, pretty stagnant at the front. We did see a pass with Pato Award moving up a spot. Okay. Fox does too many things on stream at once. Well, there you go. And then another pass here as Callum Ilott makes a move to the inside of Louis Foster, who is on the primaries. Scott McLaughlin just pitted. And so did David Malukas. So the strategy begins. Here we go. And I've got the TV on in the other room. Not that I have a Nielsen box, so it doesn't mean anything, but I just heard them going, "Whoa!" Oh, there it is. Yeah. Unsafe release. All right, here we go, side by side with Herta and McLaughlin coming out of the pits, and Herta, who we didn't see go into the pits, but apparently he did go in the pits, got out ahead. So the Andretti split the strategy. Herta now in the primaries. Oh, Kirkwood remains on the softs, and we'll see what the clear air does for Colton. A little bit of an undercut here. A lot of bit of an undercut. Lots of pit stops now. Everybody bailing. McLaughlin to the inside of Herta. So we're actually seeing passing, which is good. We're seeing some racing take place. Festival of pit stops here. Christian Lundgaard's going to end up taking the lead here. Wow, look at Newgarden. Wow, what did Penske do to get their primary tires to fire up like that? Colton's struggling on them, and the Penskes are just rock solid right now. And Pelot's out ahead of Rosenquist and everybody else. This is where it's going to get real tight. It's going to get real tight here. Woo! Cold tires for Ericsson. Brakes locking up. Don't you wreck your teammate. Ericsson's struggling on those blacks. Newgarden's going to... Wow. We're racing, baby. You'll never guess who got out of the pits first, by the way. Again, it is... The leader on the pit sequence is Alex Palou. Alex Palou, the number 10 car, is out ahead of everybody else. I hate to throw water on this, but Palou's out. Palou's gonna win this race. Palou's gonna win this race. Oh, Palou just won the race, I think. This is great racing. Whoa! No, he shouldn't have cut away from that. Show the McLarens. Go back to the... There you go. Look at this pack. Oh, boy. Oh, look at that move from Power. And Graham going to try to get a 2-for-1 deal at Kmart. I didn't get either of them. That's some good stuff. Some real good stuff. Kirkwood. Oh, Ericsson about turned Rossi. So Kirkwood is ahead of Palou. But it's Kirkwood versus Palou, and Palou is right there according to that track map there. Palou looks like he's catching, at least according to that graphic on the... Woo! My God, they're racing. So Lundgaard, Dixon, Simpson, Siegel, Robb, all of them started on the primary tires, so none of them are bailing off of it yet. Obviously, you wouldn't. Oh, Palou is all over the back of Kirkwood. Now, this is important. Look at Palou gain on the brakes. Nah, he's on the primaries. He just chasing down Kirkwood. Got to earn it, Mr. Kirkwood. This is it. Well, the timing and scoring for me is 2 laps ahead. If we've learned anything, the undercut is massive today. It is, but it didn't help it didn't help Hurt all that much. You got to make sure you undercut and then you don't come out in traffic. Because the traffic kills you. The undercut, I mean, most everybody undercut, but I mean, it was a difference of a couple of laps. Maybe it was just 1 lap, because for whatever reason, when the Herta McLaughlin group came in, the next group was the Kirkwood, Palou, Rosenquist group, and they're all ahead. So they overcut by a lap, I guess. Yeah, pretty good racing today for sure. For sure. And at the moment, clean. Although, I was about to say traffic's going to become a factor. It will become a factor for Christian Lundgaard, but it won't be for the actual effective leaders of the race right now, Kirkwood and Palou, because they're only 30 seconds ahead of Jacob Abel, who's running in the last position right now. So honestly, what I would do is if I'm Lundgaard, I stay out until I get caught in lap traffic, and then I make the pit stop, first pit stop of the day. Power, move on Rossi in turn 1 and gets him. And Pato will get Rossi as well. And the Fountain, maybe not. They made a little bit of contact there. And the field all stacks up. David Malukas, Graham Rahal in there. Good run for Graham. Damn good run for Graham right now. Wow, Power's just gone after springing himself around Rossi there. Herta having a handling problem. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if Palou's a lifer in IndyCar or not. Hard to say. Ferrucci also started on the primaries. He's running 5th right now. Stingray, Kiffin, Dixon. If Palou wins the title, Cadillac should consider him. I mean, they should, but I just don't think anyone but Chip Ganassi is ever going to hire him again. Big fuel save for Christian Lundgaard. We haven't seen a lot of the driver's eye. I wonder what's going on with that. There you go, trying to explain the strategies to the TV audience. It's not bad. Okay, so Palou has been given the green light to go after Kirkwood. They're not worried about fuel, which we like. We like to hear that. They added 10 laps, or sorry, they added 5 laps to this race. It was 85 laps last year. It's 90 this year to try to eliminate the opportunity to make this on 2 stops, or sorry, 1 stop like Scott Dixon did last year. I think there's a very good chance that Palou jumps Kirkwood on the next pit stop. And you can't count out Felix Rosenqvist either. He is hanging right in there in the mix right now. Kirkwood saving a lot of fuel there. Yes, IndyCar should absolutely do a second 500 miler. Absolutely. Lots of fuel saved from Kirkwood right now. So Brian Herta asking for a little bit more pace out of Kirkwood, but also asking for the fuel number. That's rough. Oof. I think old Palou's going to have something for him here. If Lundgaard can make the greens run 8 to 10 laps at the end, he has a shot at this. Track will be more rubbered up and may not wear so bad. Him and Dixon can go flat out currently if it's a 2-stop. Right, Cody, and that's the thing. And I thought it was going to require a yellow for that strategy to work, but it looks like we're going to have 2 converging strategies, which is what you want. But of course, a yellow would change everything, as we all know. So solid race. There's a pretty good chance it goes green flag to flag, but the longer things go on, the more chance you have of a yellow, the more chance you have of things or drivers getting fatigued, crashing, running into each other, especially when those 2 strategies converge. 2022 is the only Long Beach I've been to. I wish that were not the case, but yeah, it was great. I mean, I love Long Beach, love it, but not willing to throw myself into financial ruin to go. A yellow always helps Ganassi. Yeah, well, that's usually how that goes. Broadcast team's better picture quality. Yeah, because Fox streams their broadcast in 1080. Ford is not coming back to IndyCar. I actually asked Edsel Ford that at the Henry Ford Museum a couple of weeks ago, and he said, we're in all the series that we need to be in right now. Named about 15 series and not IndyCar. And, yeah, it's a shame. But I don't think, I think you're more likely to see zero. You're more likely to see zero manufacturers in IndyCar than you are to see 3 at this point, in my opinion. You think the Arlington race is a step back to getting Texas back on the calendar? No. Absolutely not. No, you'll never see Texas on the schedule ever again, unfortunately. Long Beach is the best weekend experience since there's so many events. Yeah, 100%. It's a great race. I mean, it's when you go to Long Beach, you realize why it's lasted for 50 years. They finally took Joey Logano off the NASCAR ads. I should have gone to the hangar and been like all the cool kids. Yeah, the month of May, baby. The month of May in Alabama. Michigan. Michigan is what should be the second 500 miler. Yeah, Stingray's hanging in there, but Stingray's on the first strategy, which is, losing 8 seconds to Lundgaard. That's going to be tough. That's going to put him. Let's see. Let's assume for a second that Kirkwood would come out even with Lundgaard. And if we look at 8 seconds between Kirkwood, and that would probably put Stingray effectively 22nd, I think, once the strategies converge. That's a great... By the way, that right there, where those people are standing, that's a great place to watch. Especially if you don't have a grandstand ticket. How come ESPN can show F1 and MotoGP flag to flag with no commercials? Because they have Liberty Media backing them. And they have global TV contracts that pay them money. And IndyCar doesn't. The only TV contract they really have is this one with Fox, which pays them $25 million a year. Formula One's TV deals add up to well over $1 billion globally. Race is definitely settling in right now. Not really a surprise. You're going to get a little bit of fuel save right now. Quite honestly, well, Palou just said his best lap of the race, but he's still only just a second behind Kirkwood. But quite honestly, he can make up that second in the pits by overcutting or undercutting and having a fast pit stop. I just wouldn't pit on the same lap if I was Alex Palou. I would make sure that I guess you can make the first move, but I would let Kirkwood make the first move. I'd stay out as long as I can, and I would pit the lap after Kirkwood does. You saw it work for Palou on Colton Herta. Got around him. And I think that would also work to get around the 27 car, but we'll see. Apple was willing to pay $2 billion for the F1 rights. Ain't nobody paying $2 billion for IndyCar. IndyCar probably hasn't spent $2 billion in the last 20 years. And indeed, I mean, they're talking about it on the Fox broadcast, but Christian Lundgaard had that crash in qualifying, a new chassis under him right now. So Kirkwood's turned the heat up a little bit on Lundgaard. Hello, chat. This is the part of the race where things are going to settle in a little bit for the next 10 laps. Accurate Angle's got Clifford going on. We love a little bit of Clifford action. David, did you watch the Bahrain race? No, I did not. I did not. I should have, but I didn't. Hello, Plasma Storm 5000. Thank you, Mitch. I hope I'm doing a good job. I don't know if I am, though. If IndyCar can build an oval without NASCAR's dirty hands on it, would be a great start. Well, good luck. Yeah, and it's a shame to see John Edwards go. Kind of unexpected, for sure. And we're still waiting on Fox to show something midfield because we're kind of we're in lockstep right now, as Marty Reed used to say. It was so interesting on that last pit sequence to see how well the Penske cars seem to get their primary tires fired up. They just seem to have instant grip when the Andretti's didn't. Why is Macho Man Randy Savage in a Bosch commercial? Interesting. I'm not drinking enough water, so I need to put flavoring in it to. Or you could just drink water. you could just drink water. I don't know. Downtown Vegas should have a race. They tried that already, and of course Formula One's already there. So, all right, well there you go. Rory McIlroy wins the Masters. Congratulations, all you guys who hate country clubs, by the way, who are watching the Masters. You guys are hypocrites. You guys are hypocrites. Who's the most underrated driver in the current field? Well, I'd probably say Lundgaard. Yeah, Lundgaard. So it's not, I think most people are rated fairly. I think they used an AI voice for Mother's Polish. I don't think I've got that ad yet. I am indeed just roasting the commercials. Well, what else do you want? Listen, you're gonna put a. Yeah, I'm not getting the Mother's Polish ad. I've got a Fox ad about a third-tier football league. Do you think the UFL fans are like, oh my God, we got a Super Bowl commercial? Ooh, there's a little bit of a battle. Robert Schwartzman and Alexander Rossi. Schwartzman hard on the defense there. No, sorry, I'm sorry. That's Rasmussen. And now around the outside goes Armstrong. And then we cut away from it. And we're looking at old F1 cars, which I don't have a problem with. Ferraris drifting, cell phones drifting, people drifting. All right. Oh, 3D cars. Yeah, we do. Don't have to wait long. It's 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks. How dare they run a race on Star Wars Day? I'm offended. Yeah, aren't you excited to be in Alabama in May? Maybe put last year's winner on the promo for Barber. No, there's only 3 drivers in IndyCar. All right, so Robert Schwartzman made the pit stop, so that's why he was getting passed. He was on cold tires. And Lundgaard's catching the back of the field. You got Jacob Abel up there, so now's the time. I would start thinking, maybe considering making the stop. But you probably want to split it even if you're going to make a 2-stop race. So it would be, you'd want to pit around lap 30 or just beyond it. That traffic's going to cause some issues. Here we go. Pit stop. Why do we need to have hybrids if the fuel is 100% renewable? So here we go. Wing adjustment. Is he going to get out ahead of Kyle Kirkwood? No, he's not. And presumably, Alex Palou got out ahead of him as well. Yes, he did. But he is going to come out just ahead of Felix Rosenqvist. No, he's not. That's actually a pretty good spot for him to be in because he's not having to defend from Scott McLaughlin. It'll give him a couple corners to get that fired up. So I think he's got a shot here. We'll see how he runs in traffic on those softer tires, and here comes Dixon into the pits. As well as Kiffin Simpson. All right, so the green's going on. So not a lot of strategy variation here. It's all pretty much the same here for the 2 different strategies. What the hell is that font they're using for Dixon? That on the board there. So the top 2 got passed. Top 3 get passed. There's Lundgaard versus Dixon on the pit exit. Ooh, they're going to be side by side, and he's going to... Uh-oh, it's going to be a Kiwi sandwich here. Old Scotty Mack couldn't get around Scott Dixon. And now Herta's got an opportunity to pounce. Wow, look at the power Dixon was able to put down out of that corner. Colton's got a shot here at McLaughlin. Let's see what happens down here. Into the corner. Nope. Well, I was trying to make it exciting. Yeah, McLaughlin never really had a shot at passing Dixon either. Other thing to remember, too, is Dixon's heavy on fuel and McLaughlin is not. While there is a tire advantage for Dixon, the weight advantage is in favor of McLaughlin. When Honda leaves, we should just go a V10 Ilmore. Exactly. Yeah, I would completely agree. If Honda does leave, why not do something crowd-pleasing? You're going to have to do something. Is Prefab a B2C sponsor? Very unlikely, I would say. but not completely not completely not completely out of the realm of possibility. Traffic for Kirkwood. It's a Chevy. Well, that doesn't matter. Traffic. Oh, don't cut away from that. Don't cut away from that. Oh, no. We don't know what's going on. Oh, no. Well, we don't know. Did Kirkwood... Pelot's down to half a second. Show it. Show it. The leaders are right together. Show the leaders. I'm stimming right now. Show the leaders. Look. There they go. Now Pelot's got a shot. The traffic got them together. We could have had exciting moments here, but Pelot's all over the back of Kyle Kirkwood. Can he get him? They're showing them on IndyCar Live. Interesting. No, don't boycott Chili's. Chili's didn't spend any money anyway. So if you want Chili's to spend money, oh God, all right. I'm not reading my DMs anymore. Oh God. You get a lead fight in SXX. SXS. I need a Toro. Rory into the drink on 13. Well, I don't know who Rory is. Thank God I'm watching on... Wait, so you're saying the Fox feed is different from the IndyCar Live feed? That's very interesting. All right, Kirkwood has opened the gap up just a little bit here. If I want Chili's to spend money, I want to spend money at Chili's. Is Pelot going... Why do people keep asking about Pelot going to F1 with Cadillac? I mean, I'm sure he's on their radar. You'd be hard-pressed to not put him on your radar if you're Cadillac. But I think they're going to go with mid-ass Sergio Perez and Colton Herta would be my guess. And Pelot pits. So here we go, undercut. Pelot in the pits. I'm seeing an Acura banner. Now we go. Wow, a Fox baseball anime commercial's crazy. All right, here we go. Primaries going on for Pelot. Little bit of trouble on the right front. Or the left front. Is that going to cause any issue for Pelot? Didn't look like it necessarily hurt him at all there, because the fuel hookup was still pretty long. We'll see how it works out. Alex Pelot coming out with clear track ahead of Christian Lundgaard, importantly. Or no, sorry, that's Nolan Siegel. Herta and his team can't get out of their own way. Well, I mean, what did I tell you on Unverified? I told you exactly what was going to happen there. I told you exactly what was going to happen because his pit crew always screws it up. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Now, Kirkwood. Very important pit stop here. This could be a lead change. A little bit slow as well on the left front for Kirkwood as well. Man, he almost ran into the back of Kirkwood there. And that's Jacob Abel coming out of the pits. Wrong car. There's Kirkwood. Well ahead of Palou. Yeah, I think Captain Kirk's in the catbird seat right now. Yeah, I'll be honest. I think that was a wrong decision by Alex Palou to pit before Kirkwood. I don't understand that. I'll be honest. I don't understand that. Unless they didn't do. I mean, yes, we knew that Palou was not fuel saving, but I would have probably tried to undercut or overcut there. Dixon pits. So Lundgaard has the hopes and dreams of Chevy right now at the Acura Grand Prix. Oh, and trouble for Dixon on the pit stop. The right rear doesn't go on clean, and bye-bye Dixon. That's the end of that for Dixon's defense of his victory here last year. Yeah, Fox isn't showing the pit times, which is unfortunate. Oh! Good little move there by McLaughlin, and he gets around Dixon. Ironically, no. So here's something that I am noticing. Dixon lost 4 seconds on that pit stop, right? But he was racing with McLaughlin before his last pit stop. So, I think Lundgaard is going to take the lead of this race. If he has a good pit stop, he is going to take the lead of this race from Kyle Kirkwood. I think Christian Lundgaard might win. We will see. Yeah, I'm telling you. He needs 34 to 35 seconds, says Cody. He's 33 seconds ahead. He needs 1 second. He needs to put 1 second on Kyle Kirkwood to take the effective lead of this race. 37 to be safe. Kiff Dog just out there riding around, says Bourbon and Bass. Newgarden finally into the top 10, indeed. Newgarden's having a really good day. We're never going to talk about it, but he's having a really good day. Here we go. Pit stop for Lundgaard. Here we go. We're going to find out. So it's going to all be about the tire changers right here. All right, here we go, boys. This is it. Real important sequence right here for Christian Lundgaard and the Aero McLaren team. Such a long pit delta here at Long Beach. Yeah, that was a good stop. Good stop. New leader, Stingray Rob. There we go, boys. And Kirkwood has made the pass. Kirkwood into the lead. Pelota third, or Pelota second. Felix is coming. All right, Rosenquist. Oh, boy. Oh, Fief. Oh, Felix. Making the move to the inside. And Felix Rosenquist goes to third in the Long Beach Grand Prix. Stingray Rob, baby. And you know what? Hey, in the last 365 days, Stingray Rob has led the Indianapolis 500 and the Long Beach Grand Prix. How about that, baby? It's Alfred. And Mario. A little bit of Snoop. Hey, Paul Tracy. Wish he was in the booth. Miss a little Paul Tracy action going on. That was PT. Mario in an old Cadillac. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Everybody's excited to see PT. Lundgaard is playing the long game. Think about how much ground Lundgaard has made up. So, in my opinion, it's not worth fighting with Felix right now because you're probably going to pass him on the next pit stop. Right? So, I don't think it's Lundgaard, or I don't think Lundgaard would benefit from battling with Felix. It just wouldn't make any sense. What would it take to shake up this race? A yellow. But that would kind of, I don't know. Actually, I think, quite honestly, I think we're in for a shaken up race. Ozempic? Yeah, we are looking at an Ozempic ad right now. Mick Ultra and Pit and Pickleball. Masters has a tie for the lead. Rip the TV ratings, says Steve. My ratings are going up. There's over 300 people watching right now. So, yeah, you don't want a yellow right now. So, well, I mean, the TV rating is going to be the TV rating. The DW12 needs Ozempic is a crazy thing to say, Taurus. NASCAR is on a 200-lap green flag run right now. Holy smokes. Chip Ganassi has just tweeted a picture of a female lioness, which of course there wouldn't be a male lioness, but stalking its prey. All right, so here we go. Let's see what is happening. Leader still Stingray Rob at the moment. By the way, on-track passes, you can't see the stat, but I can. IndyCar has got it at 80. 6 lead changes amongst 5 race leaders. The average speed just under 100 miles an hour. And we're on board with Stingray Rob. I mean, good for Stingray. It's not gonna work out for him. Actually, you know what? They went on the different strategy. They went on the strategy that I thought was actually a good idea, which was to go hard, and then soft at the end. Now, again, I'm not a race strategist, but this is a compelling strategy for old Stingray. It might work out for him. Problem with Alex below. I can't turn? Well, because you got a big-ass chunk of battery in the back of your race car. Yeah, problem with Alex Palou, don't tease us like that, is they definitely are teasing. All right, so midway through the race, I really do think that Lundgaard has a shot here. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I think he's got a shot. Sorry, I keep forgetting that you guys can't hear my stream. I made the conscious choice to not make sure the stream audio was not going out over this stream. The stream of the Fox race, I should say. Because I just don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want them to throw me in the creek for no reason. All right, Stingray Rob pulling up behind the dev dog here. Is Devlin going to let him around? Yes, he will. Stingray's lapping cars, by the way. Isn't that interesting? Oh, Lord. Where were you in 2015? Named after the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. I mean, they paid for that onboard camera, and you know what? They're getting their money's worth right now. Okay, they just didn't respond to anything about Stingray Rob. They're struggling to have things to talk about right now, and so am I. Stingray winning is like how NASCAR gets randos to win at Daytona. Well, I don't think we're gonna see. I don't think we'll see a Stingray win. I think Stingray at best will finish 12th in this race. That must have been weird when Stingray drove for Honda. If Stingray wins, I'll shut up about him replacing Grosjean. So to win this race, Lundgaard is going to have to make up 23 seconds. Warphammer says there used to be another story about his name. About whose name? Schwartzman? Or not Schwartzman, Stingray? I can guess what it might have been. Yeah, Kyle Larson's about to win at Bristol, and congratulations to him. From what I saw at Bristol, it was not a very compelling race, unfortunately. I like a good old Larson beatdown. Don't get me wrong now, but yeah, I think a lot of people misinterpret like what made the old Bristol races good. Why is there a Cosworth on the Frozone steering wheel? Because Cosworth provides the steering wheels, or at least supplies. I don't think they supply all the steering wheels. You don't have to run a Cosworth steering wheel, at least from what I remember. But most of the teams do. I think there are some teams that do not run a Cosworth steering wheel. And yes, at the moment, a caution-free race here in IndyCar. Which I don't know. I don't know if what's better or what's worse. Because if you had a bunch of yellows, the strategy would go away. But obviously yellows are compelling for TV nerds, right? I don't know. Dixon behind Kiffin. Lots of cars all jammed together here. We're not seeing a whole lot of passing, but it's close racing. Lap traffic is Jacob Abel there in the middle of it. The only new wheel is Cosworth, but there are other approved wheels, says Warphammer. Yeah, there you go. I believe Penske uses their own wheels. I think Scott Dixon uses his own wheel. I think Graham Rahal uses his own wheel, if I remember correctly. Casual fans do love yellows. And Jacob Abel being a little bit of a pain there to Will Power. And he's still being a pain. So you've got two Hondas there behind Will Power in the Chevy. Is Jacob Abel making life a little bit more difficult for that Chevy-powered machine? Sure looks like it to me. As they come out of the hairpin, let's see if Kiff Dog can make the move. Thanks to the help of Jacob Abel. Here comes Power to the outside. I wouldn't be surprised if Power's giving him the bird right now. Here comes Kiffin. Is Kiffin going to make the move on Will Power? No, he didn't. Would have been fun. Oh, Abel just fighting everybody. Abel fighting off Dixon there. Santino trying to make a move on the outside Dixon. Santino wasn't gonna let that happen. Just absolutely shoved it down the inside of Abel. And new leader Robert Schwartzman. Tristan does not like Kiffin Simpson's livery. May the Schwartzman be with you. All right, so where did Stingray come out? They're not going to show the pit exit, so I'll let you know on the timing and scoring here. Somebody locked up there. There's some smoke in the air. Stingray Rob has gone on to the green tires. And Schwartzman has made the pit stop. Stingray has exited the pits in 10th position. Schwartzman actually undercut it or overcut him. Well, it says Schwartzman's in the pits, so I think Stingray is going to be 9th here. Stingray is in the top 10, though, for you Stingray fans out there. Who's cheering for Stingray? And back to commercial. One more time. Ah, full screen ad, baby. Maybe they were sending a signal with that song. One more time. Lee Diffie is excited about the Masters. Hello, if you're joining us from the NASCAR race, by the way. A 3-way tie at the Masters. Oh, my God. Well, welcome. If you've decided to not watch the golf, and you've also decided to not watch the Fox broadcast, or maybe you're watching the Fox broadcast, and you're watching here. Appreciate you. Kyle Larson just took a win at Bristol. And now we wait. Good for Kyle Larson. We'll see him at the Indianapolis 500. And we'll see him at the Indy 500 test in 2 weeks. By the way, while we wait here for commercial break, you might have seen it here on the bottom of the screen. Content over the next 2 weeks. Obviously, we have the Indy 500 test. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going to come out of that. Essentially, that's the first 2 days of practice for the 109th Indianapolis 500. And I'm flying to New York City on Tuesday for something I cannot tell you about, at least detail-wise, but I'm going to be going to the New York Auto Show for some reason, and that reason has nothing to do with IndyCar racing. I'm sorry, everybody. IndyCar, it's not about the cars anymore. So, but it's going to be cool, I think. Looking forward to being back in New York City. Should be cool. And I'm looking forward to being able to tell you guys what's going on. But indeed, Kyle Larson wins at Bristol, and here, right now at Long Beach, Kyle Kirkwood leads over Alex Palou, Felix Rosenquist, and Christian Lundgaard. Christian Lundgaard is on an alternate strategy right now. He's the leader of that strategy over, believe it or not, Stingray Rob and Kiffin Simpson. Now, Rob, Simpson, and Dixon all on this alternate strategy are running 9th, 10th, and 11th. But Christian Lundgaard has a real shot at victory here at Long Beach today, but he might need a yellow late in the race to pull that off. We'll see. But Kirkwood leads. The pole sitter, Alex Palou, looking to go 3 in a row to become the 7th driver in IndyCar history to win the first 3 races of the season. No, it's literally, it's not because I'm worried that haters will sabotage me. I'm worried, it's an embargo. So, I have a pretty good idea of what it is, but I can't tell you guys until next Wednesday. So, stay tuned. And no, I'm not filming any commercials for the IndyCar broadcast. They want me as far away from that broadcast as they can get. So Christian Lundgaard, 5 seconds behind Kyle Kirkwood. That is the battle for the win right now. Alex Palou stuck in lap traffic behind Connor Daly. Connor gets out of the way, so the leaders are back in contact, as Paul Page would say. Super 01, I'm not going to say too much, but I will say this. I tried to make the pitch. I didn't make a very serious pitch, but I did say to... I said to someone, perhaps at that car company, that, the blankety-blank 500 at Michigan sure would be cool. I tried to make a convincing argument. I don't know if I made it, but I tried. No, it has nothing to do with Honda. I'll tell you that right now. It has nothing to do with Honda. You might want to try another H brand, but not Honda. No, because what you guys are thinking is it's like Honda announcing they're going to NASCAR. Definitely not. At least for right now. I don't know if I would be invited to that announcement, I'll be quite honest with you. I might ask too many hard questions. Victorious has a hot take. We need Fittipaldi, Jack Harvey, Canapino, Lundqvist, and Grosjean back. Did the execs at Fox just scream in Will Buxton's ear to give them an update on NASCAR? No, Dean, it has nothing to do with IndyCar. It has nothing to do with IndyCar. Well, yes, you're right, Sean. It's the Subaru Outback LMDH program that's coming out. A race at Michigan would be nice, Dean. I've advocated for it. It would be amazing. But Stingray Rob in the top 10. Yeah, Kiff Dog actually beating Scott Dixon right now. Who could have predicted that? That's a cool camera angle there on the bridge. They've underutilized that, but they have shown it a couple of times. NTT Data picked Herta to win this. They did. Victorious is asking for a caution. I don't think you want a caution yet. I think the only place you would want a caution would be after the last pit stops have been made. I think you kind of want this to sort out a little bit. Herta said, "Stop picking me." Yeah, well, he should. Yeah, he should say that. That's a decent push-to-pass graphic, by the way. It doesn't really tell you what it is. Yeah, the overcut's powerful, so I don't understand why on the last pit sequence, Palou pitted before Kirkwood. I just don't understand that. Super01 says, ideally a yellow at 15 laps to go. Well, here you go. The danger zone is opened up. Joseph Newgarden makes what will be the last pit stop, or begins the last pit stop sequence of the race. So Kyle Kirkwood. Uh-oh. Here we go. So Schwartzman gets around Newgarden there. No, that's Schwartzman. It's 83. It's not 90. Another seatbelt issue for Penske? Ooh. Didn't get out of the pits very cleanly because his teammate was laid out there. Newgarden's back in. The seat belts. Oh, what a disaster for Joseph Newgarden. Wow. That's something. That's unexpected. Penske is only perfect in IMSA. It's IMSA Riz, baby. Stingray Robb back into the top 5, although he's on a risky strategy because he's going to have to stay out. Well, maybe not. Actually, he's on the greens. He's on the greens, so he could pit somewhat on this sequence here and be up there with them. So Rosenquist beat Lundgaard out. So you definitely want to overcut here. This is Palou's chance to win the race right here. You have to stay out longer than Kirkwood. Kirkwood has got to pit before you do. It's a risk you have to take, though, because if you get a yellow in the wrong spot, Alex Palou is going to lose this race. But you know what? You got to take a shot at it. Stay out. Stay out, Palou. This is your chance to win the race. Palou down to a 1/10 of a second. According to the board there. Palou, everyone's telling me Palou's in the pits. Palou is in the pits, so he's not overcutting. Maybe he just ran out of fuel, but you got to overcut. Oh, well, Kirkwood's going to win the race. Unless his pit crew bottles it, Kyle Kirkwood's on his way to a victory here at Long Beach. His second Long Beach win. We'll see, though. Got to make sure you don't come out in traffic, which he does not. Kirkwood is in traffic. Into the pits he goes. So here we go. They should stick with his drive. I was gonna say they should stick with the driver's eye for the pit stop, but whatever. I guess they won't do that. Oh, trouble on the front there. The right front was a little bit slow. Little bit slow. Still waiting for Alex Palou. He's still on the pit limiter. It is Kirkwood. Kirkwood comes out ahead of Palou, but he's on cold tires. Palou is absolutely on it. The battle for the win right here over the next couple of corners. I mean, Palou is absolutely on the ragged edge. Gotta send it, Palou. Gotta send it. Yeah, he held on to it. I think Kyle Kirkwood's is on his way. Little haze of brake smoke there for Kirkwood. We're racing, boys, and they're both going to deplete their push to pass. There's no doubt about it. Wow. The Kiff dog leading the race. But obviously, that's not going to last. By the way, Stingray Robb has made his pit stop. And Stingray Robb is maintaining a 10th spot right now. So, for okay, for those of you who are the pessimistic kind, now I think you're wanting a yellow. If you're one of those people who is looking for some action here towards the end of the race, you are looking for a yellow. Honda podium sweep right now as it stands. Obviously, Kiffin Simpson in the pits. Kirkwood, Palou, and Rosenquist. The leader of the Chevy Brigade is Christian Lundgaard from Scott McLaughlin's Colton Herta in 7th. Power in 8th, Dixon 9th, Stingray Robb 10th. Well, Stingray won't win, but Stingray's on for a good finish right now. The sound of the Cosworth DFV in the Good Ranchers commercials really throwing me off there. Not gonna lie. So but again, here we go. We've got lap traffic. Lap traffic is a factor. Who is the lapped car ahead of Kyle Kirkwood? Because Well, I guess it doesn't matter because you've got two Hondas up there at the front, so the Hondas will get out of the way. The Chevys, as I mentioned before, are kind of every man for themselves, it seems. And that is a Chevrolet-powered car. That's Christian Rasmussen. The next car up the road would be Callum Ilott. The car after that would be Graham Rahal. So two Chevys that Kyle Kirkwood will have to lap before he gets to a much more ball-playing Honda. The Best Western commercial with like the song is very like 2001 coded, which, you know, makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. All right, so I guess we're going to look at moment of the race. Captain Kirk got out there ahead of Alex Palou and appears as of right now that he's going to deny him a third win in a row. And Kirkwood has cleared the lap car of Christian Rasmussen. And now Rasmussen pulls over for Alex Palou. Well, maybe. And Stingray is not the lap car in the way at the moment. Well, NASCAR might end up getting a new car before IndyCar does at this rate. Yeah, Newgarden's having a hellacious season right now. That seatbelt thing is just crazy. Of course, at the end of the day, if Newgarden shows up at Indianapolis and wins 3 in a row, well, we're all going to forget what he did in the championship. Old Kyle Kirkwood got rid of the chilies, and all of a sudden, he's got a shot here. The last time an Andretti won a race, let's think about that. Did Colton win a race last year? Toronto, perhaps? I'm going to be honest, guys. I think the crowd might have been better yesterday for Long Beach. What? What? That's a crazy thing to say. I call him Captain Kirk. I think we're gonna stick with that. Oh, Newgarden about crashed the damn car. That was almost our yellow right there. Oh, yeah, Colton did win at Nashville. Yes, IndyCar does have a 3-week break after this race. Although we get the first 2 days Indy 500 practice in April. And we get to race in Alabama in April, or in May. Figure that one out. Oh, boy, I can already hear Tony Donahue now saying this race is boring. I can hear it right now. By the way, Unverified will still happen. Although I don't believe... I mean, I might be able to call in. It kind of depends on the schedule with things and the way they're going to work out. 17 laps to go here in Long Beach. So let me ask you guys a question here. Because, like, if you watch a 90s race at Long Beach, things got pretty spread out, but it felt like there was action through the entire field most of the time. It never felt like this. What's the difference? Maybe someone can answer that for me, because I'm sitting here a bit confused. Because I'm sitting here going, oh my god, we got 17 laps to go. And I'm kind of like, okay, what exactly is going to happen between now and then, if anything? What made those 90s races a little bit more compelling? Car says old car. Busy Child says 900 horsepower, which, yep. Spec car, everybody's figured out, says Warphammer, yep. Alistair says different chassis and different engines, yeah. Drew is right about reliable cars, for sure. I think that's another issue. Leopard says less power, yep. Bourbon says the hybrid unit. Metal Gear says different chassis. Brogan says unreliability. Metal Gear says different tires, and Tristan says the cars were lighter. There were certain years in the 90s that were better than others. I'm sure some of the duds would remind you of this. In the 90s, they drove real race cars. Maybe Mercedes, Toyota, Ford engines, Lola, Reynard chassis. Rose-tinted glasses, says Grumpy. Reliability is definitely a factor. Sam, I asked why some of the classic races at Long Beach felt a little more compelling despite the fact that they were allegedly as competitive as this. Long Beach had its share of stinkers, and this is one of them. As far as your question, it is revisionist history. I don't know, 98 was pretty good, although it was a shit show. 92 was good. I'm just trying to think of other ones. I'm sure some people will be able to give me some more Long Beach races. The RTV ratings are up. I'm assuming the Masters is over. And welcome to all 329 of you. If you haven't hit the like button on this, hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. IndyCar had fast teams, slow teams, and midfielders. Traffic was a concern, added complexity. Open regulations were allowing for a wider range of speeds and dominance among the teams. Long Beach had a shorter layout for most of the 90s. 93, says BR. Spec racing in America needs to end. IndyCar, NASCAR is proving it isn't close racing that's good racing. Can we allow a team to run a 90s Reynard chassis against these modern cars just once? Well, I would love for somebody to roll that DP01 out and see what it would do. Put Sebastian Bourdais in it. 93 was Mansell-mania. 94 was utter Penske dominance. Yeah, 94 was not one of the better Long Beach races. I'll admit that. There was no fuel mapping. They just went as fast as they could. Well, maybe we need to bring that back. I think the issue with IndyCar this season is the lack of yellow flags. Not too much change in the strategy, says Matthew. I don't know. I don't know if that would make this race any better. What is the best street race for IndyCar if all of them seem to be like this? Let's go to Michigan. Well, the reason we like this race is that a lot of people show up, and it is a good track. I mean, this is a great racetrack, but you do get some stinkers, and this is a bit of a stinker, unfortunately. Kiffin, Simpson, and Stingray Robb battling for the end of the top 10. Stingray Robb in 9th place. Fantastic. JS says, as an Al Jr. fan, I disagree about 1994. Well, 1994 at Long Beach, on the shorter layout, they started 31 cars. No charter system back then, baby. Mad Moses says, this race is actually pretty good. Warphammer says, auto execs like Detroit. Well, what auto companies are in IndyCar anymore? Toronto has good crowds and good racing. I think they've kind of ruined Toronto a little bit. I'm not going to lie. The action created in the first half by the tire temp differential was good. I would agree. Lundgaard has been incredible in the last 2 races. Yes, Lundgaard has been awesome, Don. 1,000%. Just as I kind of expected him to be, really. Well, now we're just kind of clicking down the laps. Super Zero One says this is the best street race we've had this year. Well, that's true. you had to go up against St. Pete, which was a terrible race. Roger Penske made the biggest mistake selling all his tracks to NASCAR. Garner, Nazareth, and Fontana. Well, yeah, but he made a whole lot of money, and he probably wasn't planning on buying IndyCar at that point. Yeah, Alex has to settle for a points day, but remember what I said earlier. I said this on Unverified. If he puts 10 points on Pato Award, I believe Alex Palou, will go out of this race with a full race over everybody else in the championship. I believe he will. Is it going to be a full season, full commercial break here? No, it's not. Well, that's good. I believe Palou will have a full race distance over the rest of the field in terms of the points. Fontana is an Amazon warehouse now, unfortunately. The streets of Indianapolis at the airport. This is a very impressive run for Kyle Kirkwood right now. What's a good rating for me? I think the good rating... Are you talking about on Fox? I think it's 850,000 for this race. I'm a little bit worried it's going to be below thermal, though. I'm worried it's going to be 650,000. Pato is 39 back going into today. Commercial with 10 laps to go is outrageous. Well, the good news is there's not much that we're missing. Palou is falling dramatically back from Kyle Kirkwood. I mean, Kirkwood is just laying it on him right now. I mean, Palou's not even in the damn camera shot. Kirkwood is freaking gone. Correct. We do need to go back to Cleveland. Well, of course the Masters is going to kill the views. Well, we know that. Of course more people are watching the Indy 500 at golf than Long Beach. That's not the point. Newgarden pits again. Well, that's probably another issue with the seatbelt, which they're probably just going to have to retire at this point. Oh yeah, that Mother's it literally sounds like the that sounds like the TikTok thing with the cat. That's like, you've messed with my gang, Mr. Mittens and Gary. Yeah, that's wild. Will Kirkwood become a champion before Herta? Is the wind-up to Indy a bit much? No. If you, here's the thing: the Indy 500 is like one of the last few things in IndyCar racing that just works, and you're asking to cut the balls off of it. Don't do that. We need all the practice days. We need it all. I would just like to say, everybody, congratulations. You're in the only generation that's going to be able to pick out and differentiate an AI voice from a real voice. The generation before us can't do it, and the generation after us won't be able to do it. I don't know how you're going to feel. I don't know how you feel about that, but there you go. It's Robert Wickens who drove in the IMSA race yesterday for Corvette. Fewest yellow flags through 3 races since 1970, says Eric. Warphammer says, I will say, after Tony hijacked the Long Beach discussion for Indy, I wanted to get a shirt that says, is May over yet? Ay, ay, ay. But I mean, let's just, yes, Kirkwood is just, I mean, this is an elite performance from Kyle Kirkwood. But like the fact that Alex Palou is still second in a day in which he hasn't quite shown that dominance yet. What a cliffhanger. Imagine being Juncos Racing and having a chance to get Alex Palou and you just said, no thanks. We're good. Well, I understand they've already cut the balls off the Indy 500, but you can't castrate it further. Like you should not do more to it to take away from the mystique of it. You need to keep the hammer down. So from my perspective, whatever traditions are left, you need to keep the gas pedal down. So here's what I will say. I will say this. Here's the argument for a new car. Here's the argument for a car that's not powered by a V6. Because if you think about like an IMSA race or you think about like a kart race from the back in the day, and I'm talking like the 90s, right? When it's boring, you can still enjoy the look and the sound of the cars. We have seen this car race for 13 years. It has raced in this configuration since 2020. If we enjoyed the sound, if the sound was breathtaking and the race cars looked new, it would be compelling when nothing's happening. But we do have a battle for third. Christian Lundgaard trying to scupper a potential Honda podium sweep. And here we go. Will Christian Lundgaard make a move? He lunges and makes the pass. Hey, there we go. There's a little bit of action. 5 laps to go, and Christian Lundgaard has wasted his push to... Well, I didn't waste it, but it's all gone. Yeah, Rosenquist is saving. But the McLaren guys are excited. Stingray Rob still hanging around in 9th place. Kiffin Simpson in 10th. So really good days for those two drivers. Yeah, the problem is, Alistair, we might lose the engine manufacturers anyway. So, in my opinion, if we're going to lose them the right way, and don't lose them going down swinging, and don't lose them trying to appease them. That's all I'm saying. If they're gone anyway, give them the middle finger on the way out the door. Yeah, no, don't be talking about playoffs. Screw that crap. Screw that. All right, we got a little bit more compelling action here towards the end of the race. Colton Herta closing in on Scott McLaughlin and Scott Dixon closing in on Colton Herta. No love lost between a couple of these drivers. I tell you what, old Stingray Rob is closing in on this pack. If these guys start getting a little ornery here in the last 3 laps, Stingray might be able to pounce. How about this? Who had this in their bingo card? Put it in the ads. V10. Two more than stock cars. No freaking hybrid. I completely agree. No, don't bring. If it's a 4-liter V8, it's not going to sound any good. You want it. You want it pretty low bore. You don't want the nice high pitch. We want the high pitch. I tell you, here comes Stingray. Old Stingray Rob's going to have a shot at Scott Dixon here before the end of this race. Look at this. Stingray and the Kiff Dog on the prowl. I'll tell you what, I take back all the criticism of this race if Stingray passes Dixon. I want to see this. I want to freaking see this. Come on, Stingray. Go get him. My Lord, here he comes. I mean, yeah. Kiffin, Simpson, and Scott Dixon. Now, Kiffin's still the slowest Ganassi car, unless you don't count Christian or Marcus Armstrong. Stingray's been in the series for like 3 years, Hinch. He's closing in. He's closing in. All right, chat. All right, chat. Get excited. Old Stingray's coming. One's in the chat if you're cheering for Stingray. Santino, yeah, Santino's, I'll tell you, that alternate strategy, while it wasn't a race-winning strategy, was one that many of the drivers who took it took a great advantage of. So Kyle Kirkwood. Good for Kyle. Good for Kyle. All right. Is Stingray going to have a shot at Dixon? And I misspelled exceptional. Why is this not... Well, good for Kyle Kirkwood. Yeah, and we didn't get the Chili's car in victory lane. Stingray Rob, P9. Yeah, everybody crapped on this sponsor, and they end up in victory lane. So good for Prefab, man. Good for Captain Kirk. And we did get a Chevy on the podium with Christian Lundgaard, who has been outperforming Pato Award to this point in the season. Excuse me. Victory sneeze for Kyle Kirkwood. Is he going to rip some donuts here? No, he's going to drive that thing in victory lane, which he should do. Yeah, drive that thing into victory lane. Kyle Kirkwood's pretty good at Indianapolis, too, so we'll see. "21 days till the next IndyCar race, everybody." But we do get some testing. We get some practice for the Indy 500. Oh, they didn't have a they didn't have a 3D model of his car, I guess. Oh, the cameraman's getting yelled at. There's Bud Danker. Prefab on. I love how the crew member's getting in there and interrupting the interview. Excuse his language. I don't know what the camera guy did. There's old Dan Towers right there in the background. There you go. Glaze Honda. Old Jonathan Grace with the radio network. There you go, Jonathan. Get in there. Well, the good news is the radio network doesn't need the camera, so he can just run in there and go get him. Good stuff. Well, it's a 2-week break to the Indy 500 test. It's a 3-week break to Barber. Doug Bull. No, that's Jonathan Grace. Jonathan's a good guy. Why is this team still called Andretti? Because it's marketable to be called Andretti. Well, we'll hang out here for the next 15 minutes, I suppose, and we'll go off the air at 7. Look for the video tomorrow. I do have to pack to go to New York City, but obviously that doesn't take 24 hours in a day to do that. So, San Diego IndyCar race before Long Beach? I have no idea. Probably Denver. Rory might have just choked. Well, we've heard that about 3 times. And everybody's trying to talk about the Chili's. Top 15 in points after Long Beach. Palou with a 30-some-odd point gap over Kyle Kirkwood. Third in points is Christian Lundgaard at 96. Felix Rosenqvist in 4th. Scott Dixon in 5th. Pato O'Ward in 6th. Colton Herta in 7th. So your full results for the Long Beach Grand Prix, I suppose we'll talk about. Kyle Kirkwood obviously takes a spectacular win by 2.6 seconds over Alex Palou. Third place is Christian Lundgaard, the highest finishing Chevy in the field. First driver on that alternate strategy, the B strategy. Felix Rosenqvist had a good day, solid day, but didn't quite have the podium pace. He finishes in 4th. Will Power had a good recovery drive to 5th after kind of bottling it in qualifying. Scott McLaughlin started in the fast 6th and finishes 6th. Colton Herta started on the front row but fell to 7th place before the end. Scott Dixon started on the alternate strategy and was the second driver across the line on that strategy. Stingray Robb, big shout out to him. P9 for Juncos Hollinger Racing. That was a fantastic drive from Stingray Robb. P10, Kiffin Simpson coming from the back of the field, as well as Santino Ferrucci, who started dead last to finish 11th. Marcus Ericsson in 12th. Pato O'Ward in 13th. Marcus Armstrong in 14th. Alexander Rossi faded quite a bit to 15th before the end of the day. Louis Foster in 16th. David Malukas in 17th. Robert Schwartzman, the highest of the Prema drivers, in 18th. Rinus VeeKay, quiet day, in 19th. Nolan Siegel in 20th. Callum Ilott in 21st. Graham Rahal in 22nd. Christian Rasmussen in 23rd. Devlin DeFrancesco in 24th. Connor Daly in 25th, Jacob Abel in 26th, and Joseph Newgarden, after having troubles with his seat belts, finishes dead last. And here we go, Alex Palou. He doesn't look very happy. His 46th career top 5 finish. Thanks, A1 Dan. Appreciate that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry, I was listening to Palou. I keep forgetting when I go silent, you guys can't hear the broadcast. All right, so Christian Lundgaard now talking. I'm going to listen and say if I hear anything notable. This one's dedicated to the crew, he says. What is with this music? They're doing the. Kevin Lee yelling at Lundgaard to go to the podium is wild. Yeah, well, Cody, 100%. Yeah, you got to optimize the race distance and eliminate that fuel strategy. It definitely made the race a little bit more compelling than it was last year. Although I liked last year's race. I didn't think it was a bad one last year. Time for the podium ceremonies, race fans. They're trying to make this as Formula One as possible. Yeah, so they're showing the podium. Very interesting. This is a deliberate, which I don't hate. It's deliberate though. They said, what is Formula One doing that we're not doing? Of course, this works at Long Beach because Long Beach feels like a big deal. I don't know if you could do this at Thermal and make it feel like it's a big deal. Wow, Cuervo Tequila, huh? Going to a playoff at the Masters. Well, there you go. Got to fill the last 8 minutes of the broadcast window. Here we go. Captain Kirk, baby. There you go, Captain Kirk winning, lifting the trophy up. Yeah, I guess if they had some yellow, they wouldn't have had time for this, would they have? Wow. So there you go, everybody. I mean, that's Long Beach. I mean, I guess I'll ask you in the chat before I sign off. What do you think? I don't think it was a terrible race. I mean, it wasn't super exciting, but I really appreciate Kyle Kirkwood's battle, or his the very exceptional drive from Kyle Kirkwood. The strategies, at least, led to some compelling different results than we're used to. We saw some passing mid-pack early in the race. We saw some passing at the front of the pack early in the race. Yeah, you never get national flags or anthems in IndyCar. But, yeah, I mean, it's Long Beach, so it feels like a big deal because there's a lot of people there, which is nice. But yeah, Palou has a 34-point lead in the championship. Didn't quite take his full race lead like I thought he would. Good race, too strung out at times. Great drive from Kirkwood and Lundgaard. Another strat fail for Herta. Enjoyable race. I want to know who the driver of the race is for you. I'd be very hard pressed to not pick Kirkwood, although I'm very compelled to pick Stingray Robb. In Long Bitch. And now time for the hat dance. Wow, look, there's somebody in a Brian Reinbold shirt right there. Holy smokes. That's how you know they're a true fan. There's two of them. They're all in Brian Reinbold stuff. What in the hell? They do have cameras on the champagne bottles. I'm sure you'll see that on. I'm sure you'll see that on social media at some point. Yeah, I think I hate to beat this beat the drum, but I do kind of wish there was like a phoenix or some sort of an oval. Yeah, look at that camera angle though. I wish there was an oval. Well, there you go, guys. That was Long Beach. Stay tuned on Monday for my review of the race itself. Leave a like on this video. Oh, there's a commercial. For what? Oh, it's just another... It's an Indy 500 commercial. Or something. Have I seen this? Yeah, I've seen this commercial. Yeah, I mean, subscribe, leave a like on this video. We'll see you on Monday, and then, of course, later on this weekend, or this week, we will be doing some coverage from the New York Auto Show that I can't quite talk about yet, but I'll talk about very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys all coming out. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, join the DL 500 Club, because I do it for the races I do not attend in person. We'll see you in the next video.